Imagine you're lying in bed. Your eyes are open. You know you should be asleep, but you're not. 1 hour passes, then 3, then 6. You tell yourself it's fine. You've pulled all-nighters before. But the real answer to what's happening inside your skull right now is far stranger than tired. Your brain is not simply waiting for rest. It is starting a countdown. And that countdown has a body count. In 1964, a 17-year-old named Randy Gardner decided to break a world record. He wanted to see how long a human being could stay awake. No drugs, no stimulants, just willpower. 2 friends watched him around the clock so he couldn't cheat. A researcher named William Dement, one of the founders of modern sleep science, heard about the experiment and showed up to observe. What he saw scared him. By day 2, Gardner couldn't focus his eyes. By day 3, he was irritable, forgetting words mid-sentence. By day 4, he saw a street sign and believed it was a person. He was hallucinating while fully conscious. 9 days in, Gardner tried to name football players and instead named a random collection of colors and numbers. His brain was still running. It just wasn't running correctly anymore. He stayed awake for 11 days, 264 hours. He survived. But something inside him had already started breaking down long before day 11. Here's the part almost nobody tells you. Your brain doesn't wait for you to stop trying before it starts shutting off pieces of itself. Neuroscientists call this a microsleep. A microsleep is a burst of sleep that lasts only a few seconds, sometimes without you even noticing. Your eyes stay open. Your body keeps moving, but your brain, in tiny fragments, goes dark. Studies using EEG recordings, which track electrical activity in the brain, show that after roughly 17 hours without sleep, your reaction time slows to the same level as someone legally drunk. You are not sober. You just don't have the paperwork to prove it. So why does this happen? Why would evolution build a machine that turns itself off every single night in a world full of predators? That question haunted scientists for decades. Sleep looked like a design flaw. An animal asleep can't watch for danger. It can't hunt. It can't run. From a survival standpoint, sleep should have been deleted by natural selection millions of years ago. Instead, it appears in nearly every studied animal on Earth. Fish sleep, insects sleep. Even jellyfish, creatures without a brain, enter sleep-like states. That's not a coincidence. That's a warning label. In the 1980s, a researcher named Alan Rechtschaffen ran one of the most disturbing experiments in the history of sleep science. He kept rats awake using a rotating platform that forced them to stay in motion. The rats could eat. They could drink. They simply could not sleep. Within 2 to 3 weeks, every single one of them died. Not from an injury, not from starvation in the traditional sense, even though they lost the ability to regulate body temperature and control infection. Their bodies simply stopped being able to hold themselves together. Sleep deprivation killed them faster than food deprivation would have. Let that sit for a second. You can survive weeks without food. You cannot survive weeks without sleep. Whatever sleep is doing, your body treats it as more urgent than eating. So what is actually happening in there? Here's the twist almost no one expects. While you're awake, your brain produces waste, the same way any working organ does. One of these waste products is a protein called beta amyloid. The same protein researchers have linked to Alzheimer's disease. In 2013, a scientist named Maiken Nedegaard discovered something extraordinary. During deep sleep, the space between your brain cells physically expands. Cerebrospinal fluid floods in and flushes the waste out, like a nightly power wash for your skull. Your brain doesn't just rest during sleep. It cleans itself. Skip that cleaning cycle enough nights in a row, and the buildup doesn't just make you groggy. It changes how your brain functions at a structural level. This is why, after enough sleepless nights, you stop feeling like yourself. Not metaphorically, literally. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for judgment, patience, and self-control, is one of the first regions to lose function. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the ancient alarm system responsible for fear and anger, becomes more reactive. You become the emotional equivalent of a car with no brakes and a stuck accelerator. That's why sleep-deprived people snap at small things. That's why exhausted parents cry over spilled coffee. It isn't weakness, it's biology running out of maintenance time. Now here's where the story turns back toward you. Your ancestors didn't have overhead lighting. They didn't have phones glowing at 1 a.m. or laptops open at midnight pretending to be productivity. For most of human history, darkness meant sleep, because there was nothing else to do in it. Your body still expects that world. Your brain still runs on a rhythm shaped by a sun cycle, not a notification cycle. But now you can override that rhythm with a single tap. And every time you do, you're not just losing hours. You're skipping cleaning cycles your ancestors never had the option to skip. Modern sleep researchers, including Matthew Walker, have pointed out something unsettling. We are the first species in history capable of choosing, night after night, to override a biological process that every studied animal on the planet still obeys. No other creature negotiates with its own survival system. You do it every time you say just one more episode. So go back to that image. You, lying in bed, eyes open, wide awake at 3 a.m. It doesn't feel dangerous. It feels like nothing. But somewhere behind your eyes, a countdown has already quietly begun. The same countdown that took down rats in a lab. The same countdown that made a 17-year-old boy mistake a street sign for a stranger. Tonight, when you finally close your eyes, you won't just be resting. You'll be running an ancient repair sequence older than language, older than fire, older than you. And the next time you're lying in bed, wide awake, telling yourself it's fine, remember this. It was never about being tired. It was always about the countdown.